Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. What's good? What's good? What's good? How's it going? Whew. A lot has gone on today. Let's start with the obvious. Hey, Captain Banana. Jerome Powell compared Bitcoin to gold. Was it meant to be a preemptive strike? Yes, no, other. Tell us what you think. Neil Grant in the house. Coach Kevin Realtor. What's good? So yeah. I've got I don't even want to tell you how much freaking news I have to talk about. Wow. JPO or JPIO, sorry if I'm ruining your name, 33 was good. My man Ty Dollar in the house. So, Paula, what are you doing over there? Anywho, he spoke about Bitcoin and compared it to gold. And it's because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are trying to compare it to the dollar, which I also thought was dumb. Not dumb, but not the smartest of things. It's not going to replace the dollar. It's not. There's just not enough of it to do so, especially when you have people hoarding it. So even though people are acting like it's money, it's not. I think there are other coins that could do it. But yeah, I think it was preemptive. I think it was one of those things where he didn't have to, but he wanted to acknowledge Bitcoin, and he acknowledged it, showed it the right amount of attention, and then said, okay, that's enough. Stop comparing it to the dollar. That's not what it's for. That's not what it's going to do. And I think he's right in that regard. I think he's right. Bianca in the house. And Paula found the right platform. Yeah, buddy. He said it. He said, oh, snap. Yo, Mr. Shikamoto, what's good? What's good? Been missing you. Hello to the missus. And, oh, yeah, Hutanic. Where's Patient One? And, yes, we will have that conversation. We got a few things that we've got to finish off over here. Nice to see you too, sir, or at least hear from you. We've got to finish off a couple of things, and then that would be a happy conversation to have. So yes, and thank you. But wow. Hutanic, the other night you also brought up, was it last night? You brought up that Coinbase was blocking people that were using VPNs. Guess what? Newsflash. Coinbase faces backlash for blocking access to its platform via VPN, citing security concerns, leading to a growing frustration among users over privacy. Ta-da! So I have not experienced it, and I use VPNs. I don't do anything without a VPN. It's my network, and I still use a VPN, like a double VPN. I know it's crazy, but yeah. So yeah, it's a little bit nuts. Jared Chamberlain, what's good? So you've got two things. I just want to make sure that I address that. Something else I wanted to address, I wanted to correct. I said yesterday that, was it yesterday or this morning? Maybe this morning. So much news, so much stuff going on. That DCJ laid off 60% of its staff. It's not. It's 27% of its staff. I don't know where I got that number 60 from. So I apologize for the faux freaking pa. But I'm human. But as long as if somebody brings it to my attention, Hutanic's done it before. He's brought things to my attention. A lot of people have. Hutanic, Joaquin, just a whole bunch of people. Captain Banana has even done it. Or even I find my own mistakes. I have no problem admitting I got something wrong. I got no problem with that. No problem. Because it means that, one, I'm still open to learning. And that's the number one thing. Press MD3 was good. So we've got the opening question. Wow, 8 votes already. Woo, hot topic. Powell compared Bitcoin to gold. Was it meant to be preemptive? Yes, no, or other. And if you think it's other, put it in the comments. What other news do we have? We've got Bitcoin ETFs surpassing $1 billion in inflows in the first 4 days of December. Wow. Wow, wow. M. Shikamoto, as I tell my students, your mistakes are your best opportunities to learn. That's damn right. That's absolutely correct. Instabobble. Why do I know that name? Instabobble. Okay, but cool name. Welcome. Yeah, it is your best way to learn. And, I think there's something, I guess, real or authentic when you can tell yourself that you got something wrong, because it means that you're not going to allow yourself to slide. Like, nah, you got that wrong, buddy. Go fix that. So I was doing my research, and I was like, oh, I said 60. I know I said 60. So I had to correct that. It was pain. It was bothering me until I was done with doing research for tonight's show. Fun Stats Tom Lee says the potential of Bitcoin supply shortage could trigger a major rally. And I've heard this from him before, and I'm kind of like, duh. I mean, he's a really, really smart guy, and he wasn't saying anything crazy or off the wall or anything like that. And what he's saying is true. It's just kind of, I find it to be a little bit obvious. That's why. That's one of the reasons why I never thought that Bitcoin should ever be compared to the dollar, and anybody ever saying that it's going to replace the dollar. You should rethink that. Maybe, as we print a hell of a lot of dollars. No, it's not the rich dad, poor dad method. That has been a method since day one, since education started. Yeah, so I'm not giving that guy more credit than what he deserves. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. Elon got too much credit for what he has or has not done, and I'm not doing it with anybody else. Like, nope. I think the concept of paying yourself first is a concept that he's come up with, and it's a great concept. It's a great idea. Pay yourself first. The bills will be there. Pay yourself first. Because after you scramble around, paying the bills, then you're left with nothing, and then you just have more bills, where if you pay yourself, you kick the can down the road a little bit, eventually you're going to wind up paying those bills, but you're also making sure that you have a future. That's what I took away from the book. Rick Ritchie, negative? Negative? Negative to what? I don't know what that means. Another powerful one is that the teacher appears when the student is ready. Yeah. You're not, I look at it like this. My daughter's a teacher. You're not really teaching until the other person is allowing you to teach them. Right? Which means you're not a teacher yet, or you're a teacher without a class. Sorry? Nothing to be sorry about, Rick. Nothing to be sorry about. Paul Suick, what's going on? So I'm just looking at everything, and I'm just saying to myself, there's a lot. I talked about Coinbase a little bit more about Coinbase. I'm trying to find the article. Coinbase's plans to list meme coins like Pump Fun and Mog have exploded those coins. You want to know what happened to Mog? Boop, boop, boop. Just saying, there are effects that happen when coins get listed and then they slowly die off. Most meme coins drop 50% within the first 30 days. So yeah, it's been proven time and time and time again. So I'm expecting nothing else. Who is the person you admire like others admire Elon? Seriously, my mother. Any other questions? Like, without a doubt, hands down, my mother. Because she had to put up with this character. Saint, best teacher in the world, life lessons. Just, no, there is no who else. There is no who else. There is no who else. Period. I'm not trying to be funny, by the way. When I was a kid, one of the best memories I have, one of the best things I have with my mom is when I was a kid, because when I was growing up, I didn't grow up with my siblings. I grew up with my mom. So my mom and I, every now and then, obviously we weren't rich, we would go window shopping. And you know what that taught me? It taught me a couple of things. It taught me how to dream, taught me how to set goals, and taught me that if I want to achieve those goals, I'm going to have to work for it. And my mother taught me how to work for it, how to work smarter, not harder. Yes, you could be working hard, but you're working smarter, not harder. Harder is never as much as smarter. So yeah, admire anybody else? Nah, my mom, period. By far. By far. Again, not everything's about money. It's not always about money. So there is no who else. It's not even a distant second. Well, I take that back. My great-grandmother. My great-grandmother. Quickest hands in the East. There was a story, and I'll get back to the news in a minute, but this is actually a funny story. My mother and my uncle were playing around at the table, and Grandma doesn't play that. And I guess my uncle went too far, and they said that Grandma's fork was in her hand, and the next thing you heard was psh, and a kid crying, and Grandma's fork was still in her hand. And the only person that could have smacked my uncle was my grandmother. And they're just wondering how fast, like how long was it that the fork hovered in place while she smacked the crap out of my uncle? Best story ever. Yeah, so nobody messes with great grandma. Well, may she rest in peace. Still, nobody messes with great grandma. So yeah, my great grandmother passed on certain things: work ethic, the need for common sense, the need to have your eyes open at all times. And she passed that down, and my mother got it. She gave it to me as a gift. So yeah, so my mom comes first, great grandma is a distant second. And I love my great grandma. Love my great grandma. So yeah, that good question. Absolutely good question. Let me see if I missed any comments. Let me see. Yes, people need to be receptive to hearing something new. 8, pause in the house. That should be primary. Next, no. Most people think that your parents should be the people that you should most admire simply because they're your parents. Like they get that boost in vote, if you will. And that's not always the case. And in my case, my mother, yes, she carries the title of mom, but she was my number one teacher. Before I even knew what school was, I was, counting going upstairs and doing ABCs downstairs. By the time I got to pre-K, I already knew my ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and I was bored. Can't have me bored. I'm a menace if I'm bored. They had to start giving me first grade work because I was bored. And it was all because my mother knew how much an education meant and taught me that education doesn't just come from school. Education is something that you can pick up from anywhere. So when I talk about my mom happening to be my number one person I admire, it's not because she's my mom, but because she's my number one teacher. Right? So that's really where it comes from. Got to be humble and honor your mama. Yeah, but that's different. Me loving my mom is different than me saying my mother is the person I admire most because of what she was able to pass down, what she was able to learn, and what she was able to then bestow upon me and teach me and ingrain in me, and what I have been able to do for my kids. My kids have wicked work ethics, like holy moly, wicked work ethics. Learning, oh, they're sponges. So when I think about that, that's what I think about. I think the greatest joy I have is, my mom's still alive, obviously, is knowing that my mother can actually see her legacy. So seeing beyond me to see her legacy, that's like thebomb.com. Anywho, Hutanik, it's not that I don't like Robert Kiyosaki. It's that I think he had a crazy popular book and the timing was right. And, people love it. And, there was a lot to get out of the book. But then he just like all this other stuff. I'm like, you had one good book, bro. You had one good book. That was it. And now every time I, look at news, it's Robert Kiyosaki, the writer of, and he says, and I don't care what he says. I don't care. You wrote a good book. Thanks. I read it. Got it. Done. And I own all of the books. Done. I just, nah. No, I don't admire my mentors. Why would I admire my mentors? Why do I have to admire somebody that I'm learning from? You're a teacher. It's great. I appreciate you. It doesn't mean I have to admire you. Nah. That's like I don't love everybody, right? It's like not everybody is a friend. Some people are just associates. There's a difference. There's a big difference, right? I've got a very tight group of friends. Very, very tight group of friends. But if one of us gets a call, we all get a call. If one of us has a problem, we're all working to solve that problem. Those are friends. Those are friends. So, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about people you can call at 3 a.m. that don't ask questions. And know that you're not trying to put them in a bad situation all the time. And vice versa. You build on that. Wow. So Rich, how are you? Jay Peterson, how are you? Agar, how are you? Other Powell was channeling. Joaquin, you chose violence. It's Wednesday, so I'm gonna let you have that. He was channeling Chicken Little. I'm gonna let you have that. I don't even know what that means, bud. I don't know what that means. You can't just drop, at, and then you can't do that. Nope. Not gonna accept that. Nope. Nope, not at all. Not at all. No. Yeah, I'm definitely New York. Hydro, you should love everyone. Nope. Not at all. Absolutely not. Nope. My name's not Jesus. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, they, no, them. Nope. It's a special person. If I say I love you, that's a special person. That's a special person. Right? It's a big deal. Oh, shit. D Mac, dude, thank you. Holy I need you to tap me on Instagram. Give me your email address. You are absolutely a freaking big bagger. Holy shit. Thank you. I am, wow. All right, let me compose myself. You want to know what? Ty, I have not looked at Compound, but it has been on my list. You want to know what my problem has been? My problem has been every time I add something to my list, I prioritize my list, right? So something else hits the list and I'm like, okay, this takes priority over this, over these. I slide it into where I think it fits. And I have not had a chance to look at Compound. And Compound was something that I wanted to actually look at. I don't even want to look at the numbers. I'm not even going to ask you to give me the numbers on that because I'm thinking I'm probably going to get pissed that I didn't get in. But yeah, I'm not actually gonna be pissed. I'll just, excuse me, I'll just be disappointed. Like, yeah, I probably won't even be disappointed, but I'll kind of be like, dang, you know, ugh. Because it's, when I first heard about it, it sounded interesting. That's why it made the list. But then I was toying around with the GMB X Factor, and things just got prioritized based on, and that was it. That was it. Up 47%. I literally just told you not to give me the numbers because that's foul, bro. I thought we were cool, and this how you do me? It's foul. That's foul. Compound up right now it's up 29%, 29.92%. Might as well call it 30%. It's got a GMB X Factor of 6.95, and it is 87.22% off its all-time high. I don't have the research to be able to tell you whether or not it is going to make that GMB X Factor. I haven't done the research, but I'm glad whoever's making money, I'm glad that you're making money. I have to show respect and actually read that. Everybody, please don't think that I'm being however you take it. I'm literally reading what he has to say, and it's thank you. D-Mac says, this man is blessing us with knowledge and fellowship. Sometimes you got to pay what you owe. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think it's a community thing. I had a conversation. I meant to tell you guys this. I had a conversation with my mom. I was on my way home from a client's office today. And my mom was like, I can't miss class. I was like, why do you keep calling it class? She calls the lives, she calls all my shows class. And I'm like, why do you keep calling it class? And she's like, when you were growing up, were you not in class? Did we ever do anything where you were not able to learn something? And I was, ooh, that was deep. And I was just like, oh. And she was like, exactly. I said, she goes, when you give your shows, you're sharing knowledge. And she goes, you want to know what's even better about your show? I said, what? She goes, the fact that all of these sidebar conversations happen where everybody's sharing knowledge with each other. Everybody's sharing knowledge. She goes, that's why you're having such a hard time following conversations, because they're not your conversations. They're not talking to you. They're talking to somebody else in the community. And I this was today. This was today. This is about like 4:30, quarter to 5. And I was like, dang. And my mother's still teaching me. And you guys thought I was joking when I said I admire my mother. Period. This is why. I look at the white in my beard, okay? I'm no spring chicken. Clearly, my mom is a spring chicken. Just saying, because I'm not trying to get beat. So, but you have to think about, she's learning. She went out and during that conversation, she was telling me, oh yeah, I went out and I bought some of this and I bought some of that and da 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 da. I want to make sure that I don't buy too many coins. And she's telling me what she did, how she did it, why she did it. And she's like, as I was doing things, the GMB3 clicked in my head, and I just sat there like, and I have to tell you guys and ladies, I learn something every night. Every time I do a show, I learn something. Right? And I wanted to make sure that I created something that wasn't a one-way street. When I look at all of these other shows out there, they're all one-way streets. Not all, but most of them. Like I haven't found one that isn't. But nothing is 100%, nothing is 0, right? One-way streets. Spew, 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 spew. I need to learn right? My kids teach me. They teach me things that I don't know about. You have to be open to that. My mother, so like I said, I have my mother and I have my kids, and to be able to see how we learn from each other is amazing. It's amazing. You know, my son will come running downstairs and be like, Dad, did you see Doge? Did you see this? Did you see that? And da 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 da. And this is why. And blah blah blah. And then he'll proceed to give me a marketing lesson. It's only 17 years old and kids giving me marketing lessons. And they work. Hey, Ann, tell a lot about a man through the way he respects and loves his mom. Good man. Thank you, Fultz. Thank you. M. Shukamoto, thank you very much. Any ladies in the house? I know Paul is here. I know Ann is here. I thought I saw Bianca. Captain Banana is always here. And you know what? I noticed that there are a ton of people that are here. They're just not chatting. They just like the banter. VJ's in the house. How are you? I'm good. Thank you. Bianca's always here. It's rare that she's not here. I can't just like that. I gotta put a heart on that. Yeah, I can't like it. But I can say thank you. Dude, I'm like mad happy you pulled profit though. Mad happy you pulled profit. That's like mad cool. Like dumb cool. More news. Red Star into his house. Let me just pick up where I left off. Okay, so Missouri Senate introduces a bill to prevent the use of central bank digital currencies as legal tender. Missouri, there are a lot of states that are looking at how CBDCs work. And here's the kicker. It's not just blue states. It's not just red states. Just states like going, no, negative. That's a big deal. That should be a screaming lesson toward like everybody. Oh, snap. Ty, you're up 47%. What's up? Dang. That's dopey dope. That is, I almost missed that because I can't scroll any further beyond that. No, I knew what you meant. Wow. If you were holding the right coins at the right time, you could be up a lot right now. I know people that were holding XRP when it was in the 30s cents. They're up big, huge. We had who was it? Was it Arjuna? No, it wasn't Arjuna. I forgot who it was. Sean Moore, how are you? Somebody over on Instagram was having a conversation with us and said they bought in at 56 cents. And at the time we had that conversation, it was at $2.57. And he was like, should I take some profit? Like he honestly just wasn't sure. You could tell by how his sentences were formed. And I would take a profit. Why not? You're up that much? Why not? If I'm at the point where I can take a nice profit, I'll take a profit. You want to know something else I did? The other day when Hutanik and I were talking about, how we were, swapping coins and stuff, I shaved my initial investment off of coins. So shaved that profit and dumped it into other coins and left the rest of it there. Those coins are now other people's money. Remember I told you last night that my Solana bag is OPM, other people's money. Because I was already in the black. I took my initial investment out and put it elsewhere. And I just let that rock. And it did well. So I was already up and then went up some more. So I'm very happy with that. Those are strategies that I use like as often as possible. Why the heck not? The mayor of Ontario is pitching Bitcoin Reserve to his city council. I heard they're doing the same thing in Vancouver. I reported that a little while ago. So that's no joke. When it dropped after the lawsuit, I picked up a nice bag for around 15 cents. Yup. Yep. I mean, I had to sell some crypto, to help my son, with his businesses, to get started and stuff. But that's what it's there for, isn't it? That's why you invest. Like, I couldn't be happier to help my kids. I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that. That's why I invest. Another lesson from my mom. Speaking with her today, she was like, "Yeah, I'm using this whole crypto thing. I'm using this whole crypto thing because I want to go to Europe." And I was like, "Look at you, D Burke photo. How are you?" Wow. Like, she knows why. She knows what she's going for, why she's going for it, and how. Oh, so pause. You meant Vancouver. Yep. Vancouver's doing it. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of municipalities that are saying, we want to do something, right? Whether it be introduce it as a reserve or accept Bitcoin for payment for services. There's a story, mayor of New York City. I mean, he's under indictment and all that stuff, but mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, he was getting part of his paycheck, the bulk of his paycheck, in Bitcoin. He is cracking the hell up. Like, what? My man's like, whatever. He got paid in Bitcoin. When he started getting paid in Bitcoin, people were like, oh, it was cheap. So imagine how much Bitcoin he got, and right now, how much it's worth. He's been getting paid in Bitcoin for years. Ooh. Not to mention, he had to have known about Bitcoin, right? Which means he was probably already holding some Bitcoin. He's chillaxing. Combination of chilling and relaxing, for those that don't know. Kid from the Bronx. So you're going to have to deal with some of those colloquialisms. What else do we have? We have PancakeSwap launching a new feature, Springboard, another launch pad, because Pump.Fun is having so much fun making money. I mean, they made $280 million, I think last month or something like that, last quarter, something like that. And they yanked out, traded in and yanked out about 200 mil. Can't be mad. It's a freaking bank. They're just making money. People wonder, why do you start a stablecoin? You get those pairs going, you're just making money off the fees. You just look at Tether. Look at how much Tether makes on a quarterly basis, in the billions. Set it and forget it. That's all they did. Set it and forget it. Can't be mad about that. Yeah, I heard about the CEO that got hit. It's very unfortunate. Heart goes out to the family. Not going to get too far into it. It's not as easy as people think. It's not like the movies that you could just go out and just go grab a suppressor. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But it sent ripples. It sent ripples, and it wasn't just in healthcare that it sent ripples. I mean, you've got people that are public facing that are thinking, I need to go get security. Like, no joke. Yeah, that's not my conversation, Paula. So I'm wondering, how do you get on the ground floor of a particular crypto? I suppose that comes under doing your own research. So take GMB. So we're using GMB TV as a learning opportunity. So take GMB TV. You can buy it at Pump.Fun, or you can buy it at Jupiter. That's Pump.Fun's. Basically, that's their partner. That's their partner DEX. That's the DEX on Solana. So you can buy it there. And until we actually get to a certain level, we will not be on other exchanges. We have to, prove worthiness. Then we'll get on Radium. Like that's what I was telling you guys the other night. Once we hit $100,000 market cap, then we'll get on Radium. Once we're on Radium, we have to build our market cap from there. And then hopefully some of these other places start to pick us up. And that's literally how it works. That's literally how it works. Amar Barwani, how are you? XRP is dumping. Is it really? Let's go take a look. XRP is dumping. It's at $2.22. Over the past 24 hours, it's dropped 13%. It is good. And you know what, DMAC? Like for real, for real. It is good news for some and bad news for others. I mean, let me tell you something. What it's showing me right now, it's at 222. That's a really good number. That's an angel number. So we're just going to snag that real quick. So it being at $2.22, dropping from what did it hit before? It hit like $2.72 or $2.90 something, something like that. But it's an opportunity. To me, it's an opportunity. It's absolutely an opportunity to me. Ty's like, great news for me. 275. Thank you, Amar. So when I look at it, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm not upset about that. I'm cool with that. Chris, what's good? I'm absolutely cool with that because it gives me an opportunity to buy in. Why? Because it is my belief that it's going to rifle through over the next period of time. It's going to rifle through its all-time high. So to me, it's doing now, had it not had lawsuits, what it's doing now, what it would have done years ago. That's why. It's time to buy when blood is in the street for XRP. It's time to buy when blood is in the street, even if it's your blood. That's the line. Yep, and that's true. What movie was that from? The Wolf of Wall Street, something like that. Yeah, like for real, for real. No joke. DMAC, don't forget to hit me up. I got to add you to the list. All right? Seriously, don't play. Don't play with me. I'll find you. But yeah, no, you got to pay attention to stuff like that. Solana's Web3.js library was compromised in a targeted supply chain attack. That's interesting. Changpeng Zhao, CZ, is saying that don't get distracted just because GMB is hitting new all-time highs. Don't get distracted. Do what you got to do. Right? And I'm like, I pay attention to what he says because he's accomplished a lot. That man has accomplished a lot. So I've been looking at a lot of shows on YouTube, right? And a lot of these shows are a bunch of rich people interviewing their rich friends about rich people stuff. And it's kind of like, for real? How is that interesting to the average person? And it's like, yeah, Mike Novogratz has a show like that. There are a couple of shows that are like that. But what I like about CZ is CZ, he's loaded now, but he wasn't always. He was not always. Right? So I pay attention to people that have come from nothing and built something of it. Right? Built something from that nothing. Michael Bloomberg is another person that came from nothing. Warren Buffett, another person that basically came from nothing. There are a few people out there that came from nothing. When I hear about, oh, Bill Gates did this and blah, blah, Bill Gates was not poor. For real. I like hearing about people that had to struggle, that understand the struggle. Because there's something that I get when I look in a person's eyes and I know that if they lost everything today, it would not break them. It would not break them. They would just do it again. You want to know who's famous for that? You might not know about it. Richard Harris. He claimed bankruptcy like 50 bazillion times. And he was like, so what? I'll just make it again. Imagine. My man was like, whatever. I will just do it again like it was nothing. I'm living life. Like he was not fazed by it. I was like, damn. Those people I want to hear about. Those people to me are inspirational. Because again, they came from nothing. I know a guy who's like dumb loaded. Dumb loaded. When he turned 18, he said his father came to him and said, I ain't got money for college, so you're either going to get a job or you're going to get out. He went to the military, came out, and by the time he retired, he was a huge executive at 3M. Again, came from nothing. I believe he said he grew up in a trailer. So like, wow, yeah. I admire people like that because they've got that thing called grit. I'm telling you, that's just the way it is. I'm missing stuff. Warren Buffett, folks, wasn't poor, my G. Buffett been having it since 11 years old. But from what I understand, he had to work for his. Like his values come from not being given stuff. He was given necessities. He did the same thing to his kids. That's why I listen to Warren Buffett. That's why I listen to him. He's very 2 feet on the floor. Thank you for that, though. So even if he didn't come from something, he's very 2 feet on the floor. Look at how he lives. He doesn't live extravagantly, like a lot of people. Buffett does live on the cheap, which is nuts. Why not? Define your happy. All right. Case in point, my mother's about to teach you something and you guys don't know it. And I said it before. My mother said her crypto game is all about her going to Europe. She's living simply. Retired. She's just chilling. Right? Define your happy. And then ask yourself, do you need anything beyond that? Because if you don't, like if I hit it big, I'm probably going, well, not even probably. I know my older brother is going to make sure that I live in a secure position. He's a military man, and one of the things he did was secure locations. So I know that I would have cameras. I know that I'd have levels of security. But other than that, I don't need to drive, I don't need a Bugatti, which, by the way, is not all that. I don't need, define your happy. My happy. And I say it all the time. I don't live for my first name. I don't live for my first name. I live for my last name. I'm living for my kids. That's my happy. They are the air I breathe. Period. So everything I do is to ensure that I have something to give to them so that they can give it to their kids. I don't have much, but I'm going to give as much as I can. Right? Even if some of it is just up here. But yeah, define your happy. You don't have to live beyond that. We all want to make money because it's freaking expensive. A bag of chips, 75 cents for a bag of chips that's literally only this big. Who didn't hit rock bottoms in their early years? A lot of people didn't. We grew up we're growing up in a different time. VJ, are you trying to make a black man blush? Cut that out. Thank you, though. Thank you very much. Tyler Perry I guess he's a good example, but I don't know. I don't know him personally. I haven't met him personally. The people I named, I know people that have met them, and I've bumped into a couple of them. But thank you, VJ. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I've been saying to lose the extraneous stuff. You don't need stuff. Define what it is that you want and go get that. Focus on that. Don't focus on these tiny little trinkets and stuff that you'll never use again. Like, never gonna, really? I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars on a pair of shoes. I'm like 6'3", 300 some odd pounds. My shoes go through hell. So I got to buy quality shoes to begin with. I saw an article the other day And somebody was talking about, well, why do you buy such expensive shoes? But how often do I buy shoes? I buy expensive shoes, Allen Edmonds, but the quality of those shoes that I bought were just like no joke. I still have them. They're like 10 years old. Leather on top is beautiful. The most I've ever done is have them resold. And I take them to real shoemakers. Yeah. So yeah, it's that's all it is. Right? And yeah, some people had safety. D-Mac, you're right. Some people had safety nets and some of us did not. Some of us did not have safety nets. Oh, snap. The Metaverse Standards Forum is having a meeting tonight, and I haven't attended a meeting in a while. It starts in like 15 minutes, but it's all good. But yeah, I want to pay attention to what's going on in the news and understanding how that can affect my last name. Like I keep telling you guys, I want to know what's going on around the world because it might affect my bag. It's not my bags, my kids' bags. I'm just holding it for them for a little while, When I look back, nobody has me. The quicker people get there, the better. I'm not sure I understand that. I know I'm missing something. But I've definitely hit rock bottom. What? I've hit rock bottom plenty of times. Growing up in the Bronx, I remember going to the store and buying a box of spaghetti to go with the butter and the salt that I have at home. That was dinner. Yeah, I remember that stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I train myself to remember the lessons that I was taught and take those lessons and try to remember that I've got to pay myself first. Bills are always going to be there. D-Mac, all jokes aside, you want to know something? A splurge week was I would be able to go to the store and buy 99 cents a pound beef. Obviously I'm old. So 99 cents a pound beef wasn't the best beef, but I had some beef, and I would then take all of that and make sauce and pasta that would last me for a week. Next payday. For real. So yeah, I know what that's like, how to stretch a dollar. That's something else my mother taught me how to do. She knew how to stretch a dollar. I dare you to stretch a dollar today. The dollar is not getting you jack. That's why we're all here, all trying to learn about how can we learn? What else can we learn to do this stuff? I'm listening to people saying, oh, this is going to fail, that's going to fail. And I'm like, so the sky's falling and you're outside not wearing a helmet, telling other people that the sky is falling. I would listen to you because, I'm going to go do my own research and go figure out if the sky is falling and then figure out where I can stand so I don't get crushed. And figure out what's falling from the sky and is it useful? People don't think like that. They don't think about, how they can use the things around them to do something. You hear about these people that open up TikTok shops and Instagram stores and all this stuff. And people are like, oh my God, I'm hearing all these crazy stories about how these people are making money and blah, blah, blah. Yes, they are, because they figured out their little piece. And a lot of them actually understand that that's not going to work forever. So they're on the lookout for other things. I'm telling you, it's not just about investing. That's why I keep telling everybody, being a big bagger is not just about, it's not about how much you're earning. It's about how you're thinking. That's what a big bagger is. It's how you are thinking. And something that I've noticed about all of the big baggers, all of them, every single last one of them, they have this one thing in common. And it's almost as important as them making money. Want to know what it is? It might actually shock you. It's that they share the how with others. technically the how and the why with others. It's a big deal. That's a big deal. And that's something that I notice about every single one of my big baggers. I say my big baggers because they're all teaching me something. They're all willing to give. That's right, D-Mac, it's giving. They all have that common thread in all of them. I had a big bagger reach out to me today and was like, listen, I love what you're doing. Let me know when you're ready for me to help. I'm here to help. I'm waiting to make enough money to hire this guy so that he can help. He didn't ask for a job. He asked to help. That's humbling. Huge. Compound is a cryptocurrency with $1 billion market cap. They just made $1 billion market cap with how it's going right now. Ranked 112 on Coin Market. Yep, it is. HBAR is backing the transactions for crypto autos. Yes, they are. That was one of those pieces that I was going to talk about that I didn't get to. I mean, I have like 18 points of news. Good education from Amar. Thank you. M. Shikamoto. Yeah, really. You give away what you want, huh? I give away what I want. Oh, you just mean in general, people give what they want. Yeah, I could agree to that. Yeah, A-pause. It took me a minute too to understand what he was saying, but yeah, straight up. All-time high. Yeah, it's compound 916. It's not going to do it this time. I would not put money on that. I don't know enough about it, but I would not be putting money on that. That's nah. It was 910, 910.54. They have a GMB X factor of 7.01. Their market cap currently is $1 billion, $1 billion, and they're going to hover there for a little while. They're going to drop below that 1 billion, right? And the reason why is because people are going to take profit. I mean, look at how high up it is. People are going to take profit. For real. Did I miss anything? I'm just looking to see if I missed anything. Hutanic, go back to your point. Who didn't hit rock bottoms in their early years? Depends on where you grew up. Like who you're surrounded by, you could see who's hit rock bottom. I knew a guy that his family hit rock bottom, and they hit rock bottom so bad that they left where they were living and moved someplace else to avoid the embarrassment. And he told me about it. We were having dinner. We were doing business, and it was our first dinner. And he told me about it. And I was like, wow. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah, the guy's worth millions. And he's, hustling. And he said, the reason why I'm hustling is because the rich are going to wind up being the new poor. We had this conversation like 16 years ago. And he says, the rich are going to be the new poor. And where are we right now? The rich, if they don't keep hustling, become the poor. Because the rest of us are the poor. Unless you're wealthy, you're either about to be wealthy or you're about to be poor. That's where the rich people come in. That's the space. They're the new middle class, except that's one hell of a middle class, right? Parrots that don't let their kids fail early are making a mistake. Oh, my mother would watch me face plant all the time. I mean, she was there to like, make sure I didn't, get really, really hurt. But I mean, yeah. Face plant. I mean, hard. But she would say, well, you shouldn't do that because da 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 da. But you got to learn on your own. And I would face plant and be like, all right, I learned that lesson. Sometimes lessons, just like my man said, sometimes you gotta go through it before you learn it. Because what'd you say? The teacher doesn't arrive until the student is ready. I'm going to use that. I'm absolutely going to use that. Absolutely. What else is there? Binance and WazirX face scrutiny in India over tax evasion allegations. That all stems from that whole thing where there was a point in time where CZ, Binance, Wazir were doing something, and Wazir was like, the guys from Wazir was like, oh, that's not our company anymore. That's Binance's company. And Binance was like, that's not our company. That's your company. That was a whole big thing. And then for a while, WazirX was kicked out of India. They fled and then went over, I think, to Singapore for a little while. Yeah, that's like a whole mess. The only reason I'm following that is because it's a freaking whole mess. And they're saying that, Binance owes $85 million. Binance could poop that out and hand it to them without batting an eyelash. I think they're going to fight, though. They're going to fight. They're absolutely going to fight. Now, here's something I absolutely wanted to bring up before we jet. Microsoft announces that its most advanced quantum computer should be available by the end of 2025. Yeah. Honeywell already has, Hutanek, wasn't it you that told me Honeywell already has their quantum computers out? Yeah. So the computers might be out, but what software is running on those computers? Like, I'm not going to be able to buy that computer and run Photoshop. Not yet. I don't think they're backward compatible like that yet. So yeah, that's a very big deal. Remember, I keep telling you that everybody's going to have to fix their technology to deal with quantum computing. So wallets would have to become more secure. What? You don't think that a quantum computer can figure out 28 words or 24 words? Really? There will be brute force attacks like no other. There will be AI like no other. There will be deep fakes like no other. It's going to be no joke. It's absolutely going to be no joke. Yeah, you can't run anything on a virtual machine. You have to make sure that you can run a virtual machine with the technology that you have. So that's not really a valid statement. I don't know what those machines would be able to do. Know what I mean? Sort of like when Windows NT 3.11 came out. When 3 came out, it was like, oh, yeah. Then they came out with 3.1. Oh, 3.11. That's the ticket. You don't know what they're capable of yet, and they still have to write the software. So the machines will be here, but the software has not caught up yet. Now you know why I keep saying technology is going to have to change, because you don't know what they're going to come out with those quantum computers. Maybe they'll allow virtual machines on them. Maybe. That might not be a feature. People might just want the raw power because they're going to dedicate it to doing a specific task. Don't know. We'll find out, though. 2025, that seems to be the year. I was going to buy a new computer this year. I saw that article and I was like, I think I'll wait. I'll limp along. Just let it ride. We'll see what happens. Isn't Algorand supposed to be quantum proof? I've never heard that, and I would absolutely not believe it. There's no way in the world I would believe that. Maybe Pith, maybe Hedera, because they're doing things completely differently. Maybe, but I don't know. They would have to prove it to me. Like, show me what your security posture is. Not everything, but let me know. Can you handle, an attack from a bank of quantum computers? Like, Lord. I thought the biggest issue with quantum computing was the software for it. It is. XRP might be quantum resistant, but it's only, that's like your water resistant up to 10 feet. Yeah, Cardano runs on a version of Haskell. That's right. But a quantum computer might take a minute to break it, but I think it could. Won't know until the machines get here. I used to work alongside a bunch of hackers, and let me tell you, the creativity that these people have, and they were white hats. A little gray, little gray, little gray. But white hats for the most part. And boy, oh boy, they could do some wicked stuff. Some wicked, wicked, wicked stuff with the machines that they have. And we're talking about x86s back in the day. The creativity of the brain and how they use technology to their advantage. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's nuts. That's absolutely what's nuts. Anyway, everybody, thank you for sharing your time with me. I greatly appreciate that. I will be back tomorrow night. I'm expecting good news. I was hoping that when Jerome Powell opened up his mouth today, that Bitcoin would finally rise to the occasion, and they didn't. The only thing that Bitcoin did was hit a new all-time high. I think it's like 99.7 something. That's it. So yeah, DMAC, thank you very much. Again, thank you very much. Do not forget to hit me up on Instagram so I can get your email address so you can be invited to the Big Bagger meeting, please. Thank you very much. Everybody, really, thank you for your time. Thank you for your trust. And have a great night. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Whew. Almost did it again. 20 votes. Powell compared Bitcoin to gold. Was it meant to be preemptive? 60% said yes. 15% said no. And 25% said other. That's interesting. I think it was preemptive. Anyway, everybody, have a great night, and thank you. Thank you for everything.